just digging a little bit further on the apps. You know, I'm in my late 30s.
Hmm.
I remember the old school dating websites. You know, your original OK Cupids. I remember Match.com of back in the day. I remember um, even like Yahoo Personals. I have some
Wow, I
friends of
forgot about those.
yeah, from some friends from college actually got together and married off of Yahoo Personals. That's why it comes to mind.
I have a former coworker who did the same thing. Hmm.
And those were like they required the things that you or encouraged at minimum the things that you're asking for, a full filled out profile. And from my experiences in those worlds, you you know people put time and effort in like you actually had a sense of the people that you were interacting, or at least what they were their representative, as a friend of mine calls them, of who they are trying to project online. And then you have this current crop, whether it is Hinge or Bumble, um, the new version of OkCupids and such, that are all swipe based. And I find, I haven't been on in about a year, but they were more simplified. There were that there's less detail, there's less trying. There's simply photos and generally nothing else. How do you Which one's more effective? I would assume you'd say the longer profiles.
So I'm trying to think how to answer this. So let's first take a step back with online dating. A lot of these apps are now created to not get you off of them. You can send pictures. You can do calls. You can do FaceTime calls. You can share profiles. If I'm on Bumble and I see this great guy, I can forward it to my girlfriend who's on Bumble and say, hey, this is somebody that I think might be a good fit for you. It's designed now to not get you off. What a lot of people don't know is Match Group. They own Match.com. They own Hinge. They own a lot. OkCupid. They own a lot of that. They have a big, huge share. The first quarter of this year is the first time ever that they had a quarter loss. So we're seeing people getting off that at websites, but now you're seeing people date. And like Hinge too, you can go through and you can like 5 profiles in one day. After that, you have to pay. So it's getting you to pay, or it's getting you to come back the next day to be looking. Yes, and it was designed, Hinge is designed, it's very simple. And I think that's why a lot of people use that one. And depending upon the city that you're at, it might be a good location for you. But again, it's designed to not get you off those. So a lot of people will sit there and still have those conversations and have those things. So you have to have a good opening one line to be able to talk. Yes, I've seen my son, I've seen him just swipe, go through. And, I see how that happens to a lot of people on Bumble, because men know that the women have to reach out first. So they're just swiping. And then when somebody comes through, then they actually go and take a look at the profile and then find out if they're a match or not. But that's why you have to fill out that profile too, because you want to make a good first impression, and then you're having that conversation. So you want to even balance of, hey, how are you, to drilling down everything on their account and going through and oh, you like to swim, oh, you like to surf, oh, you went to school here. So you have to, it's a very fine line to not be, creepy, but you want to be exciting and you want to have those conversations. And that's where you lose. So I sit down and have people, I have a client that we're going to sit down and help her create her profile and go through those questions and ask. But again, you want a well filled out profile and good pictures, and that's something that looks like you. And then that way it's drawing attention. We're just making you, shiny to make you stand out a little bit more. And then we'll go through and help you have those communications.
Are the people who are coming to you suffering from app fatigue?
Yes, that's definitely one big thing. I would see app fatigue, don't know where to start, not seeing people that are serious. But dating app fatigue is definitely a thing. I
They
do it
don't
for
see
myself.
people
When I start dating again, I'm like on here and I was like, this is, here we go. The problem is too, is it takes a while for the algorithm, for the app to figure out your algorithm and what you like. And then now with Bumble, you can't filter through ethnicity. It doesn't allow you to do that anymore.
I get the point, but it also seems counterproductive. Well, at least for the dater, for the company, obviously, like you were describing, like they want you on the app as long as possible so they can serve you ads, and they want your subscriptions. But for a dater, like we all have our preferences.
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to structure our dating adventure any way we like.
Exactly. Yep. I mean, you nailed it. As on the platform, as like if I'm the business owner of an app, yeah, that makes sense because I want people swiping. I want them to renew all of this. But if I'm a person of color or Latino, and all I'm seeing is white people, and I don't want to date that, I'm not going to be on that app. You should be able to filter through, religion, ethnicity, all of that. And if it doesn't allow, what's the point? How am I going to find my person? Because if religion's a very big, important part, I want to raise my kids a certain way. And it doesn't allow me
Is that
to.
why these apps, or at least in part, why these apps are becoming more niche? Like I know there's like, wasn't there I remember farmersonly.com.
Yeah,
I
you have that.
remember.
You have JDate. You have there's dating apps for people who have STDs. There's dating apps for religion. There's dating apps for certain cultures. Absolutely, you have dating apps for LGBTQ members.
I have very mixed feelings about that because part of me thinks, as I said, we should be able to choose our own adventure. Part of me also thinks that, like, well, as I think through this theory, right? So on one level, we're going to limit ourselves anyway. So I guess it's just offering a way to codify it in a digital sense.
I mean, here's the thing: if I'm transgender, if I'm a member of the LGBTQ community, I'm not going to go on a dating app that's primarily straight people. It doesn't make sense. If I'm a person of color and I want to date a person of color, I'm going to choose that. If I'm Jewish, I'm going to choose an app that's for Jewish people because I want to raise my children. I want to, my religion is very important to me. So I'm going to go where the people that I want to date are. Yes, I understand that it's about, being open and all these things. But when there's certain with you want to, if it comes to cultural, if it comes to religion, I think you should choose dating apps that go on that.